Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. The other day my son asked me what my favorite tool was that I got in the last year, and my answer surprised me. It's this tire inflator jump starter. I've ended up using this a lot more than I thought I would because it's just so handy. I'd actually like to have one in each car, but the problem is it's been discontinued. So this is the latest version, the Andeman Epower-177. So this video is on how to use the 177 and putting it through its paces. I'll put a link to this one in the video description. Alright, so to start, I'll get to my most common use for this thing at the end, but my second most common use of this device is keeping all of our car's tires properly inflated. I used to hate lugging out the air compressor just to fill a few tires. With this thing, you can fill a few tires in the time it takes the kids to get in the car. To do that, attach the hose to the battery pack. I find it works best to invert the battery and screw it in from below. Then, attach the inflator to the Schrader valve on your tire. Then, press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to turn it on. Press the mode button until it says PSI. Then, use the up and down arrows to adjust the pressure to your liking. I like the default of 36 PSI. Then, press the power button to start inflating. It automatically stops when it hits the target inflation. Disconnect the inflator and you're done. Press and hold the power button to turn it off, or it will shut itself off after 30 seconds of inactivity. Alright, my third most common use is jump starting cars. With all these old cars from the early 2000s I have, I'm jumping a car about once a week, not to mention the lawnmower. With this, you don't have to deal with ungainly jumper cables, or even have a host vehicle. Especially handy when you're parked somewhere where you can't get another car near enough your car's battery. Start with the car off, obviously otherwise you wouldn't be jump starting it. Turn on the battery pack by long pressing the power button. Attach the jumper cables to the starter port. The light will flash red and green. Attach the positive battery clamp first, then the negative. The light turns green. Go and start the car within 30 seconds, or the battery pack will turn off and you'll have to turn it on again. Once the car starts, disconnect the negative clamp, then the positive clamp, and that's it. So much easier than involving another vehicle. I haven't had time to test it, but the manual says that the battery pack will hold a charge for up to 2 years. I like the sound of this because if I put this in the trunk of my son's car and forget about it, he can still use it to jump start his car even months or years later. Alright, the fourth most common use for me is inflating basketballs. If you've got kids in sports, especially basketball, make sure they are using properly inflated equipment. This is actually extremely important so that they develop proper muscle memory, particularly for dribbling and shooting, but also passing. To inflate a basketball, put the inflation needle into the inflator tube end and close the valve. Then push it into the hole. Turn on the tire inflator. Set the mode setting to ball and set the PSI to whatever is written on the ball. In this case, 7 to 9 PSI. I'm going to go with 8.5 PSI to account for some loss of pressure when removing the needle. Then press the start button. It automatically stops at the target pressure. Remove the needle and press and hold the power button to turn it off. You can use the other nozzles similarly for inflating things like beach balls and air mattresses. I don't use the flashlight much, but to turn it on, power on the battery pack, then press and hold the light bulb button until the flashlight turns on. Short press the light bulb to change to strobe, or the Morse code signal for SOS. I don't know who uses Morse code anymore, but hey, might come in handy when you're stranded on the side of the road. Press the light bulb button again to turn it off. You'll need your own wall wart, but to charge it, plug it in with the supplied USB-C cable. Alright, finally, my most used application of this battery pack is actually long-term astronomy. I like to set up the GoPro in the evening to take video all night. But the problem is that the GoPro battery only lasts about 2 or 3 hours. This battery pack powers the GoPro all night and still has about 25% power left in the morning. Not bad. To set this up, plug your GoPro into one of the USB ports, then press and hold the power button on the battery pack to power it on. As long as the GoPro is drawing power, the battery pack will stay powered on. I turn it upside down so that the lights on the display won't mess up my shot. If anyone is interested in the GoPro camera settings I used for these videos, let me know in the comments and I'll try to do a video on that. And there you have it. If this video was at all helpful to you, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and until next time, all the best.